While your average record buying public doesn't know a dB from a hertz, you better know that they have heard a ton of records in their genre that they're interested in. They'll be looking for that same sound from your song. I mean, you can get creative, and we're supposed to be creative, but please, please know the ballpark that you're playing in. Okay, does that make sense? Now, having said that, there is one common principle that seems to pretty much go across genres that you can pretty much take to the bank, and that is this. Who is the undisputed star of your mix? Absolutely, it's your lead vocal. If you can't hear the lead vocal clearly above all the other elements in your mix, then you might as well pack up and go home. Try this experiment. Go to the food court in your local mall and listen to the music piped over the PA there. Chances are, with all of the background noise of everybody buying their Chinese food and Cinnabons, and the fact that those little speakers in the mall have really no bass in them, all you'll hear clearly is the lead vocal, and that is exactly what the people will be whistling as they go home or to the record store. No one goes home and whistles the bass line. It's hilarious that we mix using $1,000 Genelec studio monitors, but the people hear most of this stuff on little crappy little speakers. But anyway, any way you cut it, make sure, please, that vocal is king. Now, if you have all of the band members looking over your shoulder, asking for their instrument to be louder, you're going to be caught in a never-ending battle of ever-increasing levels. Let me put it this way, okay? Let's paint a picture. I like blue. Someone, would you like red? What about green? What about purple? Well, soon enough, we have nothing but black. If everyone wants to be heard, no one will be heard. We only have so much sonic space to mix in, so we need to make judgments about what gets put in, and more often than not, what gets left out. Just remember that the vocal is king, and we want to place everything subservient to that vocal. So in terms of mixing, what can we do? Let's take all of these instruments and place them on different channels. You can see that the drum kit has been broken out into kick, snare, and hi-hat. With everyone having their own channel, we can then have much more creative control. Remember that vintage picture with all the band members around, crowded around a single microphone? Not much control back there. But with everybody mic'd up separately and recorded on separate tracks and coming up on individual channels, we have a lot of control. Now, does anybody get intimidated when you see a big mixing console like this? Be honest here, right? But here's how I look at it. First, I get all the unused channels just out of my head. Just get rid of them. Then I just need to concentrate on the remainder or the remaining channels. In fact, just learn one channel, because all the rest are really a duplication of those channels. Once you get over that fear, you can pretty much stare down a massive console and not break a sweat. By the way, actually, I did a course at UCLA on movie sound, and those guys have the craziest consoles. In fact, it takes 3 guys to mix a movie, and their consoles can be 20 feet wide. One guy mixes dialogue, one guy mixes Foley and environmental sounds, and one guy does the music. It was a really, really cool course, kind of understanding how much audio plays a part in movies. Anyway, here's a tip to break down the anxiety you might feel when dealing with a mixer. If you want to pan the snare drum, then look at the row of pan knobs and cross that with the snare channel, and then you've got your target. If you want to EQ your piano, cross the EQ section with the piano channel, and voila, that's the area to concentrate on. You don't have to worry about anything else. So in terms of mixing, think about what can we do? Well, we can adjust relative volumes using the faders. We can pan back and forth across the stereo field using the pan pots. We can add reverb or delays to position the track further back in the mix via the aux sends. We can add insert effects to fix problems or give the track maybe a special character like compressors to make a channel pop out of the mix, or maybe a noise gate to quieten down a track. We can EQ each track to boost or cut certain frequency ranges to change the tonal color of that channel. But in terms of our approach to mixing, I like to break the process down into 3 steps and in this order. First and always first, fix your problems. Then get a rough mix, and then finally polish the sound to a final mix. Let's look at fixing problems first. Now, if you have a horrible sounding track with hiss and distortion, save yourself a bunch of time and just go back and record it again. I've wasted countless hours trying to save a track that really just should have not been saved. Sometimes it's just better to just start again. Now, if it's a musical mistake, like a bad note or something, then punch in and fix it using those tricks I showed you in the last session. Now, in terms of fixable problems in your mix, we'll look at the big two, and they are EQ problems and isolation problems.